Hey, it's Friday. I've taken at least a week off of vlogging because a couple of the comments I got on my second one got to me, definitely not in a negative way. I just really took them to heart. So people said I was doing too much, and I paused and came to a few conclusions. One, I have to have a mission and a passion. So with the blog, I decided, I was like, why am I really doing this? And it's because I want to help military spouses enhance their lives and help them self-actualize. So then I looked at some of the work I've already done, like the podcast, the blog posts I've written, and I was like, I need to be able to say, yes, this helps spouses enhance their lives with every single thing I do for the brand. So I have been working on a post, why you should go on vacation instead of going home for leave. And I really was writing the post so that I could use an Apple Vacations affiliate link. But when I really looked at it, I had to ask, like, is the purpose of this, or is my intention really to help spouses enhance their lives, or is it just to try to sell the link? And I think, I do think people really should go on vacation instead of go home sometimes. And that's there. But the first motive was to sell the link. So I can still use it, but I'm just going to go back through it and have that at the front of my mind instead of at the back of my mind. And I'm grateful for having come to that conclusion, being challenged to identify my actual why, or what I actually find purpose in, because I really think that that's going to be a compass for everything else I do. So there's that. I also realized, which I shared in the last set of vlogs, that I am trying to do too much at once. And I think it's because I have this expectation of making money, and I feel pressure to make money. So I'm trying to do everything at once. And when I really thought about it, I was like, okay, so the biggest thing is the ebook. The ebook, I expect to make at least $5,000. That could be unrealistic, but I don't think it is, because I think there's a large market for an ebook about Army Basic. So I just put it in my mind that I needed to have my blog in a certain position before I could launch the ebook. But that's not necessarily true. Somebody also advised that I go on to other military spouse vloggers YouTube channels and just be a part of their audience. And then I realized some other opportunities I had for affiliates that don't require me to have a blog. So I'm like, okay, I really need to just focus on finishing this ebook. Don't worry about the blog. And I also had thought that the podcast and the blog needed to be simultaneous, and that doesn't either. So I've like put these pressures on myself that don't really need to, they're not necessary. I just want to make money, and I want to like maximize my opportunity for that. I do think it would be optimal to have all those things happen the way I envision them, but if it's too much for me to accomplish any of it, then it doesn't matter if I'm doing the optimal thing or not, because I'm not accomplishing anything. So it's like the more that I push things because I can't get everything aligned exactly how I want it, I'm essentially losing time and money. So I may as well just at least put one thing out the way I wanted sooner, and then I can make money from that one thing sooner. So that's what I decided for that, and I feel a lot of peace with that. And I just took a break from making any content to really see what I wanted. And taking a break always does it for me. It always helps me to regroup and refocus. Now, some of y'all gonna be mad, but the other thing I chose to do was I talked the girl from childcare at the gym. I've become friends with her. I talked her into buying an eBay course from wealthycollegekid.com. So I've been following the owner of that site, or I don't know what you call her, Christiana Hurt. I found her on a YouTube video. It was like minimum wage versus millionaire. And then I read her story on Instagram, and it really resonated with me that she was able to, like, she rose to the occasion to get her rent paid. And then from there, she's become a millionaire. She got into a lease with a guy. He wasn't gonna pay the rent. So she had to come up with $3,000 for rent in a month. And she ended up making that in one day with e-commerce. So I took her course, and honestly, that course is a mess. I don't understand all the positive reviews. It's a mess. I was so confused because it doesn't give any context, but I got the gist, and I set up an eBay store. And as I've been sitting here in my car at the gym, I just made my first sale. I don't really know what happens next because I hired a VA, and the VA is literally doing everything. I just had to hire a VA. And trust. So I don't really know what happens from here, but it feels really good to have made a sale. The reason I decided to move on to eBay is because I need to feel like I'm making money. And I've been really interested in e-commerce, and this is like this is a starting point because it doesn't really take money. Some people in the video on the course, she has set it up so that she would pay the VA once she made the first 1,000. But that's not, when I was talking to all the VAs, nobody was going to do that. Everybody wanted the $250 right after they got the store set up, and then they would do a commission after that. But other than that, there's not really going to be any additional expenses besides PayPal fees or eBay fees. So I'm just interested to see where that goes. And that kind of satisfies my need to make money. So, I mean, that it satisfies this immediate need to be moving forward on making money. Even if I don't even know how much I made off today's sale, probably like $2. But, that still feels like progress, which kind of calms this particular anxiety so I can focus on other things. And I started writing the ebook again for the 3rd time. And I guess, like, I don't know, I'm just in a completely different state of mind. And I know this is obviously the best one yet. I guess now that I don't know what it is. I think I feel a lot of failure in my life. I think I feel like a failure as a parent. Like, I'm not doing a good job. I mean, I still think my child's fine, but I just often feel like I'm not doing a good job. And I was kind of looking at I listened to this book called Lucky Bitch by Lori. No, I don't know who it's by, but she was kind of talking about like self-care and getting yourself accustomed to better things, like trying to pay for first class and stuff. I'm not doing that. But I looked at my house. You know, I'm so over the place that I live, and I determined that I should I need to buy a bed frame, because if I feel like my house is like one of the few places that doesn't remind me that I'm poor, then I need to do the best I can. It's like one of the only places that just looks pretty good, but we don't have enough furniture or closet space to like make it what it should be. So it's kind of a mess, but I just feel like if I buy a bed, that'll help me feel better, instead of like just not having a, it's like poor, basically. So I'm gonna do that. And I feel like the fact that I don't keep the house clean all the time makes me feel bad. And there's just several little things in my life that make me feel bad, which then in turn impacts my work. So I'm kind of thinking about things a little bit differently in terms of how I can improve my productivity by mitigating some of the things that drag me down. I'm finally home. It's 1:44 a.m. and that was incredibly painful. It was painful, but it was a pain like when I was in labor and we were going to the hospital. That level of discomfort is what it felt like. And I was shaking. Also, my body hurts from working out today and then sitting all evening. I think it took 7.5 hours, which is definitely not the longest I've sat by any means. And there were 2 people working on it. But it was rough. It was hard. I don't know. It feels harder than other experiences I've had. Maybe because I'm older and I know that I don't need to be in pain like that in my life. So I'm feeling pretty good. The book is much better already. And I'm just in a pretty optimistic place. And I should go to the gym. I have no time to work out. I should probably just go back home. But I already drank the pre-workout. We have to meet somebody for lunch at noon. It's 10:45. So maybe I'll just get on the treadmill. That's what I'll do. Okay, I will talk soon.